Robert, Manchester United versus Burnley, these are going to be your five things to expect ahead of the game. We'll be going through Darren Fletcher's press conference, which sounds crazy in itself, but we're looking at the quotes that he said. He talked about the team news. But anyway, let's get into it. Now, listen, we know it's going to be an interesting game. Darren Fletcher's first game in charge. Different formation, probably expected. And he said he's going to play the Manchester United way and try and make it as certain as possible, really. Like, it's a dream job for him. Now, let's talk about the Manchester United team news. Now, he said Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount will be back in the squad. They are two huge boosts for Manchester United. Two players who have missed. Bruno's missed 3 games, which is insane for pulling his hamstring. To be back in contention that quick is honestly insane. And it would be Bruno out of everyone. He's the captain, he's the leader. And again, he wants to be ready for this game. So, listen, Bruno's back. I don't think he's going to start. He said his minutes need to be managed. He trained with the team today. So, yeah, I don't think he'd be in contention to start. But he definitely potentially come on the bench. And I think that's a huge boost. We have 10 days until the Manchester derby. Potentially, he'd be look at starting that. But it's good to have Bruno back and Mason Mount. Obviously, everyone else is still out of the game. Now let's look at the Manchester United team. Now we know the prediction is that he's going to play a 4-3-3, and that's what he's been playing in the academy. Now in terms of what that Manchester United team would look like, Lamont in goal, back four, Dallo, Shaw, Heaven, and probably Martinez or potentially Lenny Yoro. We'll have to wait and see. You look at how Burnley set up, though, physical, aggressive strikers. Broha's probably their striker, and he's very, very difficult to deal with. And they're going to play a lot of long balls. So do you go Heaven or do you go Yoro? It's pick of the bunch, really. Obviously, right back Dallo, left back Shaw, into midfield. Now, again, he did say Bruno and Mount was fit. I would actually like to see a pivot of Casemiro and Bruno and Mount further forward with Manu out of the game. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it'd be Casemiro, Ugarte, Bruno through the middle. No, sorry, Casemiro, Ugarte, whoever's at the 10, potentially Bruno. If not, it probably will be Xerxes. Listen, it's an interesting one on Mount because he's a player who gets injured a lot, a very good player, but gets injured a lot. So I think the jury's kind of out on Mason Mount. We've known for a while now his injury concerns. I think a lot of fans I would probably sell Mason Mount. But in this game, I think he can have an impact towards the end, potentially, depending on how the game goes. But yeah, Mason Mount, I don't think will start. I think it'd be Casemiro, Ugarte, and Xerxes, and then you can bring on Mount and Bruno towards the end of the game, depending on how the game's going. And then Cunha, Dorgu, and Sesko as the front three. Now, you need to see a lot more from Dorgu. Manager aside, whatever you want to say, Dorgu and Sesko, we need to see a lot more from, in particular, Sesko. He's a player who's coming. Yes, there's a lot of pressure, and it's a difficult moment that he's come in, a new manager, but ultimately, there's no excuses for Sesko. Yes, he might not be getting service, but there has been many chances to score goals. And against a Burnley team who have one of the worst defenders in the league, you're hopeful that he could potentially get a goal. I think Sesko's the player for me who has struggled with confidence, and at times there has been a lack of service. But he needs to be scoring more goals. As a player that's come in for £85 million, you have to be scoring goals. And the pressure is going to start to rise. Obviously, Cunha on the left, you need him to have a good performance. As I said, Burnley don't have a great defence at all. They concede a lot of goals. They have struggled in the league. Their last win was October, so we can't get... If we concede even a point to that, it would be concerning. But yeah, we need to see a lot more from that. Now, let's talk about United's threats, which leads me on perfectly. As I said, Cunha down that side. Burnley are going to play a compact 5-4-1. They're going to be difficult to break down. Going to play behind the ball, 10 men behind the ball and press, and ultimately use the moments that they have against Manchester United and use that as trigger points to try and exploit United's weakness. And I'll say United's weakness is probably physicality in this game. Not having De Ligt and Maguire in a game like this is a problem. Obviously, Martinez has done alright in terms of aerial duels, and so has Heaven, to be fair. But again, aerially, you are concerned, obviously, in terms of set pieces. Casemiro is someone who's very, very good from there, and I think that's going to be something we can look to exploit. But you have to be playing fast, flowing football, and energy has to be there, and I think it will be there. Fletcher's talked about how the players have been very, very good in training, and I think you look at we need a creator in this game, and I think Bruno will Bruno will be trying to start. I mean, Amram said in the last game he wants to be playing against Leeds. There's no chance that was obviously going to happen. But against Burnley, he probably sees himself as the perfect opportunity to get some minutes. Now, what I would say on Bruno is we know how much chances he's created, but I wouldn't want to see him start in this game. You don't want to risk it. We have bigger games coming up. Brighton, Man City, and Arsenal our next 3 games after Burnley. I'd much rather have him for those than even risk him playing in this game. But potentially, you just need to see a Xerxes or Cunha create something, because I thought Xerxes was actually very, very good in the game against Leeds. Obviously, it's going to be a potentially different role for him, but I think he can have a big part to play in this Manchester United team. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with Xerxes, but that would be my United threat. I think it comes from United being able to press, but also be quick in terms of passes, not slow and lethargic, because Burnley will just sit in their shape. And obviously, we have lost the set-piece coach at Manchester United, which was probably the only positive thing he probably did at the club. Set pieces was something that United were very good at this season. See what that changes with whoever comes in. But set pieces, again, physicality is going to be something that's needed. And Burnley will be looking at this opportunity as they could get a win. They've beaten United before. They've got good players, good manager, and yes, the results haven't been great, but United are in a very poor moment. I know we haven't lost away in a while, but with no manager, could we see the new manager bounce at Manchester United? We will have to wait and see, but that has been United's threat. Now let's talk Burnley. As I said, their last win in the Premier League come in October, towards the end of October, so they haven't won in a while in the Premier League. Now they're a team that has the defensive struggles, and they look like they will be getting relegated. If you look at goals conceded, they concede 2 goals per match, bang on 2 goals conceded, which again, it's not much worse than Manchester United. United are on 1.5. So yeah, they've conceded the 39 goals, which only Wolves and West Ham have conceded more. And again, Wolves are in the relegation zone and West Ham are not far, or West Ham might be in the relegation zone. So the team that concede goals, we know that. And I think United can definitely do that. Now, they actually have more clean sheets than Manchester United this season, which is a shock to say for a team like Burnley. But they have 3 clean sheets this season, which shows how poor United have been defensively, and obviously under Ruben Amorim. But yeah, I think goals are gonna. There's going to be a lot of goals in this game. I think Burnley, they're a team. Goals per match, they score bang on 1 goal per match, which again is not great. It's 18th in the league, but they will definitely have chances. And United are top 3 for goals scored, 1.7 goals scored per game. Only Arsenal, who have scored 40, and Man City, who have scored 44, have scored more goals than Manchester United this season. So it was quite bad in the Amorim, but one thing that wasn't a problem was the fact that we could score goals. And we have the most shots on target per match in 5.5. We're up there for accurate long balls per match. So yeah, listen, I think there's going to be goals in this game. I think Burnley are going to target as just an opportunity. We've seen Wolves get a point at United, and especially them being at home as well. So yeah, Burnley's threat, if I had to pick a player from Burnley to kind of highlight, as I did with United, being Cunha. If I had to pick a player, I would say Jadon Anthony. He's been a player that's done a very good job for them this season. Again, he plays off the left. He's got 4 goals and 1 assist this season, so he would be the player that I look at. But listen, they're a team who don't really get much possession, and have struggled of late. But again, it's a bit of a tops and turvsy game to see how it go. Now, in terms of let's talk Darren Fletcher. Listen, it's Darren Fletcher's first game in charge. He said it's a proud and surreal moment for him. I think it's a big opportunity for him. Not to be a permanent or anything, but just to kind of show and get a bit of excitement back. Burnley is a good opportunity for him. Again, we know Ollie's looking very likely to come in as the interim manager. But I think Fletcher, again, a big opportunity for him. Could you see Jack and Tyler Fletcher start? I mean, I don't think you'll see that, but again, it's good for them as well. Darren Fletcher's a guy who knows the club, he knows the foundation, and ultimately said he's focused on getting the win. He's focused on getting the win more than anything, and they talk with Wilcox and Barada after the game to see what's kind of happening on his future. But yeah, you wish Darren Fletcher all the best. in this game, and hopefully he gets a win. Hopefully he gets the win, because that's ultimately that we need. There is still enough of the season to salvage. I think we've got 18 games or 17 games left in the Premier League. We've got FA Cup to potentially win as well. So you want to give Fletcher all the sort of support that he can get. And again, it's going to be a tricky game for him at Burnley, but it's a great opportunity. And I think he will take that role fantastically well. I'm not going to talk anything negative on him, but again, it's a pretty positive moment for him. And he said, hopefully it looks like a Manchester United that represents a bit of me and what I know is Manchester United. So hopefully it resembles a Manchester United team that the fans can be proud of, that I can be proud of. And I'm sure that it'd be good, because I believe in the players. I think we've got good players and players who care. I think we've got a lot of quality in the team, and I hope to give a platform to express themselves and show that. Now listen, we know Rude was undefeated, I believe, as an interim manager. So, listen, interims is always difficult, but he's inherited a squad, and apparently he might be staying on. So yeah, shout out Darren Fletcher. Hopefully he gets the win for Manchester United, and ultimately we come after the game, and we're excited with the 3 points. And ultimately, if he loses the game, then again we take it from there. But yeah, the fifth and final thing is the result. I think Manchester United will win. I'm going to back Manchester United to get a 2-1 win. I know Burnley concede goals, 2 on average. I know United concede goals as well. So I think there will be goals in the game. 3 points is all that we need, really. I'm not really cared about the performance anymore, because we know that Darren Fletcher's not a long-term thing. Obviously, you don't want to see a poor performance, but you do want to see Manchester United go out there, get the 3 points, and ultimately go to the next game, whatever that. I think that's obviously Brighton. So yeah, 3 points are a must. Obviously, a lot of the teams play on the same day as Manchester United, but 3 points would be absolutely crucial. Chelsea have a tough game against Fulham away, so that's going to be a difficult game for them. Liverpool play Arsenal, so again, it'd be one of them's going to drop points, so it'd be good to kind of get some points there. Man City play Brighton in a tough game. Sunderland play Brentford, Spurs play Tottenham. So this is an opportunity to get 3 points, and I think that's all that matters, really. So yeah, expect it to be a tough game. There, your 5 things to expect. A bit of a longer one today, but yeah, I think it's certainly interesting to see going into this game. I'm excited to see what happens. Obviously, Amarim's no longer the manager. So yeah, I mean, Darren Fletcher ball begins. See how that works out. See what that means for Manchester United in this game, and ultimately, just see what happens with Darren Fletcher at the club. Whether he stays or not, he's the manager for this game, and you have to give him not the support, but you have to give him that sort of freedom, and he's going to express himself, and he's going to put the players in to get the job done. And I'm hoping just Manchester United can get the job done, move on, and see who the manager is for the next game. I think it will be Fletcher still, but this Burnley game isn't going to be easy for Manchester United. I think this is probably the hardest team to predict. I believe it's going to be a 4 at the back system. I'm hoping it's a 4 at the back system. And yeah, let's just see if we can get some goals, get the result. The last few days have not been easy as a Manchester United fan, seeing Ruben Amorim go and all the stuff that's come out about Martinez screwing up to him, from him getting the players that he wanted and didn't end up getting them, to all of that. So yeah, it'd be good to kind of just get the 3 points against a Burnley side, as I said, who has struggled. But yeah, let's see if the players turn up, and let's see what the reaction is to Ruben Amorim getting sacked. New manager bounce. Let's see what happens in the game. Let me know your thoughts, teams, predictions in the comments below.